Ethan, we're back in studio. We
are.
are live. I'm looking like a 1930s weatherman right now for the most part. What's up, everybody? Glad you're coming in with us. It's been quite the couple weeks. I've tried to put some content out. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I mean, I taught myself some tricks.
You
Ethan,
did it. I was very happy.
So Ethan, this is funny. This is Friday night. Thursday, Friday night. I'm in Miami. I'm at a conference we'll get into. I've set up an interview that Ethan doesn't even know about, a pretty high profile interview in our world, at least. And I finish it, I post it, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I bet I get a text from Ethan here in a couple minutes. And there it came. Here he came. So Ethan texts me, excuse me? What happened here? What is this?
How did I not even know about this?
Yeah, and I was like, I got smart, man. I'm a tech guy now, you know? I'm pretty much, I'm your co-director in IT here now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm podcast host and co-director of IT.
Gotcha,
Give myself new titles. But yeah, man, we can jump into all my stuff here soon. What's up, dude?
Nothing. I'm a little sick. I'm a little under the weather.
Yeah?
I'm a little study.
Yeah?
But it's not COVID. I can confirm it's not COVID because I got tested.
That's good. You don't want COVID.
Well, I did have it, so, you know, that's one of those things where, you know.
And you listen, everybody's got it, right? I feel like right now, everybody has the COVID.
Everybody has something. If it's not COVID, it's the flu. The flu is hitting people like a truck right now. It's so funny.
So at our office at 12 Point Logistics, Daisy, Tennessee, 8401 Gulfview Drive.
Whoa. You probably don't want to dox yourself.
No, come on, man. Bring it. We want all the freight.
Okay.
We want all the freight.
Fine.
Listen,
Fair enough.
Listen, after where I just came from, I'm getting all the attention. All right. I'm bringing it all back.
Ooh.
But so you just sidetracked me. Anyway, so what was I about to say right there? Oh, everybody got sick, man.
Yeah.
So literally, like our entire sales staff been out all week. And then the week before that, everybody got sick. Even one of our guys' baby got sick.
Jeez.
Newborn. COVID.
Oh God.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
that is actually scary.
And what's bad, I was the first one to get sick. Did I say? I told you I was sick, right?
Yeah, you were. We missed a week because you were.
I was sick,
under the weather.
Yeah, so I was at work. I guess it was a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and I was fine all day, perfectly fine. Really fine, dude. 4:00 came around, and I got this bad headache, and I don't get headaches. I got a bad headache, and then like I started feeling bloated, but I shouldn't have because I was fasting.
Yeah.
So it was random. I was like, maybe I had too many energy drinks. I don't know. I feel kind of weird right now. And then I put my head on the table like I was in high school, taking a nap in between pop quizzes or whatever.
Jeez.
You know that burp? Did you ever used to get that burp of like sitting with your head down on a table where it was kind of like gassy, but not really?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I remember those.
So
yeah.
I'd get that. And I was like, oh, man. And then one of the guys came in and said, man, you don't look too good. And I was like, well, I feel like I'm about to, and literally ran to the bathroom and just projectile vomited into the toilet. And I was like, oh, almost didn't make it. So threw up a couple of times. I was like, I don't know what I'm throwing up. I have not had food today.
Yeah.
Because I was doing the whole like carnivore and like,
fasting.
Yeah. So, and like I'd already went through the number 2 problems.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was good. I was ready to roll. I got over the headaches from fasting and everything. I was like 4 days into good. And then that happened. I was like, ooh, that's not good. So went home. I felt better after I threw up. Went home, about halfway home, called Tia, and I was like, ooh, I'm not feeling great.
I'm not good.
And she was on her way back from Nashville. I was like, can you just pick Marcus up? And I'm going to run home and just lay down. Y'all might not need to be around me. Go home, dude. I start shivering, breaking out in like a cold.
Yeah.
I haven't been sick since COVID happened.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing. Like, you haven't gotten sick, so maybe this is just the one that broke through, you know?
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
I laid down in the bed, man. I put a sweatsuit on, like my hoodie and my sweatpants, and bundled up in a blanket and got it. And I sweated that bad boy out all night. Took the next day off. And I was back in the office. But dude, they started dropping like flies. And I can't like boom, boom, boom. Everybody started getting sick. But everybody's getting COVID and stuff. And I didn't have COVID.
No.
I mean, I only ran a temperature for half of a night.
Yeah.
But it did get up to like 102.
I will say this. The other night, when this first started, it was like full shit. It was basically the same thing. I have not thrown up since like high school. Just it hasn't happened.
It's the worst.
I know it is the worst. I don't want it to happen. Knock on wood. I just don't throw up when I'm sick. It's very surprising. But when I first got this, it was just like it hit me in the face, and then it hit me in the torso, and I literally was like, Judy, I got to work, and I was like, Judy, I am feeling terrible. Just give me a mask. I will work through this. I do not mind. I can't afford to be out of work for another week,
right?
Because I already did that this month.
Yeah.
So I was just like, Judy, just give me a mask, and she bought like the nice new N95s too. So
that's the good kind.
Oh yeah.
They give you a little bit of room.
Those are the ones that actually work. But yeah, so I put on a mask, and I was working just fine, and then just like. Right about 2 to 3 o'clock. It just hit me. I was just like, I don't think I can work all day, because I was scheduled for a double. And I was just like, Judy, I don't know if I can actually work through this. And she was like, no, go home, rest up. You're obviously sick. You're not faking it. I know you're not faking it.
Right.
So just go home. I got home, and I was like, okay, I'll just like sit down and watch TV, watch my shows or whatever. No, I literally got home, and I was just like, nope, going to bed. I slept for a solid 12 hours. I woke up and I was shivering. I was under my blankets, still in sweatpants and sweat clothes, just like you. And I was still shivering. I was like, Jesus Christ, I hate this.
Yeah, man, it's not good. Being sick is not good. But you just touched on a mask.
Yeah.
Who do you know here that doesn't like those? So I don't. I'm not a mask fan. Right?
Chris doesn't.
Chris doesn't. Okay, yeah. I'm not a mask fan, and it's not because I'm not an anti-mask. Don't anti-mask me. No. I'm not that guy. My mom is having to wear a mask right now. So, like, I'm not anti-mask.
I'm not either. Yeah. Like, and that's the thing. When COVID first started, wore a mask because I'm literally working with the public. And then halfway through 2021, we were just like, everything's good. Nobody's gotten sick.
Sure.
So we took them off.
Yeah.
And I wasn't wearing them for... basically up until I started getting sick this winter.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, again, it's winter. The cold can't decide if it's going to be cold or not. So, of course, I was going to get sick.
Sure.
Because I'm working next to a freaking window.
Right. Yeah.
And the cold air is just blowing all over me. But yeah, no. So I've been wearing masks here recently only because I've gotten sick and I don't want to get anybody else sick.
Yeah.
That's the perfect time to wear a mask as far as I'm concerned.
Sure. No, I'm with you.
So, it is what it is.
So, I went to Miami.
Yes.
We said that.
Yes.
Flew out of Nashville, Miami.
Oh, you flew? Oh.
Yeah, flew out of, definitely didn't drive. It was like 12 hours. So flew out of Nashville, it's 2 hour flight, like 2.5 hour flight. Well, I haven't wore a mask in so long that I forgot that you got to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Still in certain places, right? So I go to the airport, get there on time, blah, 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 check in, blah, blah. Nobody's really saying anything. Go through security. Sir, need your mask. I was like, what do you mean? It's like, you got to have a mask on. I was like, I don't have a mask. They have tubs of mask everywhere in that place.
Yeah.
So I go get a mask. It's like a kid's mask. Barely. The thing that I hate about the mask is that my beard, prevents the mask from like fitting properly. It pushes it down. So no matter what if it doesn't, it like pulls my beard up and then it messes, just drives me crazy. So regardless,
it's ridiculous.
Had a terrible experience because
at least don't wear glasses because then they fog up.
That's good. Yeah. Sunglasses. I've been there. It's miserable, but just, it is what it is. I forgot about the whole airline and mask deal, but I was a good boy. I put my mask on, kept my mask on. As soon as in the airport though, I kept it off. Like as soon as I went through security, mask off, people would come up to me, sir, I need your mask on. I was like, literally, there is not one soul within, I don't know, 6 times 6 feet of me, like 36 feet of me. There's no one around me. I'm over here for a reason.
I'm self-isolating.
So literally self-isolating. I'm good. All right, I got you. I'm cool. I'll put it on when we get to the cabin. So first class, first time I ever flying first class in my life. Yeah, man.
God damn, guys.
I flew first class on the way down because there was a decent deal going to Miami from American Airlines. I mean, it was awesome. So I'm not a huge guy. 6 foot, 220, 230. Not extremely broad, but broader than some. big butt. Got a big booty, you know. So like my butt takes a large section of, you know, space.
Sure.
So for, you know, airplanes, I'm sure I'm not the most uncomfortable, but I'm not the most comfortable also. And I was like, man, I wonder how different first class is. Man, bro. I get in, my legs are spread all the way out, like all the way out. I'm almost leaned completely backwards.
Can't believe you would admit to man spreading.
Jesus. And I'm sitting like this in this king's chair in the literally the first seat on the plane, the first one on the plane. Just felt like, what's up? What are we doing? And then on the way back, I was, you know, planned to fly economy.
Yep.
You know, because it's just how that trip planned. And then it bothered me the whole week. I was like, I gotta fly economy back. All right. So I get there, type in my stuff, go to do it or whatever, and it's like, ding, would you like to upgrade it? Yes. Boom. Yes, I would like to upgrade.
Absolutely.
100% upgrade to first class. And then I ended up talking to the guy that's like letting us on the plane or whatever. And I walk up to him, I was like, hey man, I know you said the overhead baggage is a little light, so you can check my bag if you want to. No big deal. He's like, yeah, I'll check it. No problem. And he was like, hey, I see you first class. There's like 7 people traveling first class, 8 seats. Or no, there was 6 people traveling first class, but there were 7 people traveling first class, but there's 8 seats. He goes, you're in a seat right here. You're in the front. Do you want that? I said, yeah, I just want the front, man. There's plenty of room. He goes, but if you sit over here, you're by yourself. So I had first class by myself on the way back. And we had a little bit of like a layover, like not a layover, but a delay, like an hour delay once we got boarded, which was, you know, which I didn't care because Wi-Fi on my phone working. Felt like a straight businessman, Ethan.
Yeah.
But
fine first class.
And plenty of time to catch up on the show that I've been watching.
What have you been watching?
House of Cards.
Okay.
So you know how I'm like, Yellowstone's a great show. You know, Entourage is a great show. Yeah. That's probably the 2 that I hype up the most, I'd say. Mm-hmm. Walking Dead, or the first 3 or 4 seasons. Mm-hmm. House of Cards, I put it off way too long, and it's incredible.
You did put it off way too long, but I would argue, and I've argued this since Me Too started, House of Cards is actually better now that you know Kevin Spacey's a dick. Like, you hate him more.
Yeah.
And I love it. I also love Kate Mara, so
that's who's that?
The journalist.
Oh, okay.
The female journalist.
Yeah, the blonde? The one that gets killed at the very beginning.
Well, thanks for spoiling.
I spoiled a 10-year-old series. Sorry, guys.
Oh my God, is it 10 years old?
No, I think
Please tell me it's not.
Well, no, it's like it has to be 2013, 14 because it ended
let's see.
It ended in
2013. It's 10 years old.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and it's incredible. Shit. It's really, really, really good. 2 thumbs up, except for the season 6. I'm in the middle of season 6 right now. I'm just not a fan. I'm just doing it to do it.
I will say this. I did not continue after... Well, let's just spoil it. I didn't continue after the first season. The last thing I remember really is the raid.
You're telling me that you haven't seen like seasons 2, 3, 4?
No. The first season of him being president is what I was going to say.
Oh, so you still haven't seen seasons 3, 4, and 5?
3, 4, and 5? Really? Huh. I'm trying.
At least 4 and 5.
I know I wouldn't want to watch it after Kevin Spacey's not in it.
So there's one season where he's vice president, but there's the scheme to get him elected.
I remember the whole there's like this whole conversation at like Camp David or something like that with the current president, and they're raiding it because of the scandal.
Yeah,
and Kevin Spacey finally ends up being the president. I remember that. I remember him being president. I remember getting through that first season of him being president, but after that, I think I had watched it current, and I was waiting for the new season. And when it finally dropped, I just didn't go back to it.
So I think it could be wrong, but I think 4 is like his first like true term of being president.
Okay,
like full on. Gotcha. 5 is him and his wife are having problems, and now they're like co-presidenting.
I take that back. I have seen that season.
Okay. Yep. And then 6 is, she pretty much has him killed, and they just kind of keep going on. Anyways, that was a great show, but it put me in this whole thing. I was like, I love, the whole political aspect of TV shows now, and I really love that deep dive into the White House. I'm liking that. So I was looking up other shows to watch that are kind of along that, that genre. And it brought up like Madam Secretary. It brought up Veep. It brought up The West Wing.
That's what I was thinking. West Wing, can I just say, West Wing is one of the better
I need to watch it.
White House shows that I've ever seen. I've seen a little bit of Veep. I've seen like one episode of Madam Secretary, because I've always been in the same park you're in right now.
Okay.
Is like I'm fascinated with like the presidency and like just how everything works when you're the fucking president.
Dude, it's business 101.
Yeah.
You can say that's politics. That's just business.
Well, it's just politics to get there, but after that, it's all business.
It's business.
Yeah.
So there was The West Wing. I need to watch that. I haven't seen Madam Secretary. I haven't seen Veep. I mean, I've seen I know the gist.
Yeah.
And then I loved Scandal. Me and Tia loved Scandal.
Yeah.
That was a good one. And then I don't know why I didn't go to House of Cards right after Scandal. I have no clue.
I don't know either. Like it is kind of surprising that you haven't watched.
Like there's a 2-year overlap from Scandal to now House of Cards. But there was a mini series that came out. The Comey Rule.
Huh?
The Comey Rule.
I have never heard of that.
So it's about Jim Comey.
Yeah.
The FBI director. It came out at the end of 2019 during the election.
Yeah.
And it blackballs Donald Trump.
Jesus.
And they give like the guy that plays him crushes it, first of all. Yep. Just not, if you're a Trump fan, not in a positive light, but also you kind of believe it.
Better than Adam Baldwin?
So I mean, like, he makes fun of Alec Baldwin playing him in that show. But it's supposed to be very, I guess, from like Jim Comey's book, like how that his side of the story, because I guess, dude, first of all, I didn't even pay attention to any of that. Jim Comey and it was a whole thing. And the Adam guy and Clinton's emails.
Adam Schiff.
And
God, I know too much.
And Michael Flynn and that whole deal. I didn't really play into all that. But it covers it pretty well. It's like a 5-part miniseries, an hour of each. I binged all of them last night. Stay up to like 1 o'clock in the morning watching.
How many are there?
It's 4 or 5.
Okay.
Hour pop.
What's it on?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
And first, Jeff Daniels plays Jim Comey in a serious role, and he crushes it.
Damn.
Like makes you a fan of the guy, and I don't even know anything about him.
I'm gonna look this up real quick. Keep talking.
And then it was just really, really, really good. Obama's in it. Not Obama, but playing Obama, playing Michael Flynn, playing Don Trump Jr., playing Jared Kushner, playing Rob Berenstein or Robinstein, whatever his name is, the guy that came in and fired Jim Comey.
Yeah.
Trump's in it, big part.
Obviously.
Dude, it's just really, really, really good.
I've never heard of this guy that played Trump, though. That's interesting.
And it shows the like how when Trump came into office, I guess from their side of things, how he was pretty much breaking all the laws, the Russia stuff, and I don't know, man. So I recommend that for anybody, even if you're like a Trump fan or you're conservative, you're not going to necessarily like it, but I think it's a good show to get both sides.
Oh man, Michael Kelly's in it too.
Yeah, well, that's the dude that's in House of Cards.
Yeah, that's why I said it.
He plays the guy under Jim Comey in the FBI, but he's the one that takes over the FBI once he's gone.
Yeah.
And it just kind of shows how the media portrayed Jim Comey to be hated by his colleagues in the FBI, but yet this was based off of like stories from the FBI, and he was beloved and just a really good leader. And he just wanted to protect the Constitution and uphold law and justice. And he wasn't.
See,
but I don't know.
Remembering this time frame myself, I don't remember people saying that Jim Comey wasn't liked. I remember hearing Jim Comey was loved by everybody except for Trump.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it came to. And they made it so pretty much like what it came to was Trump wanted, and I don't know how real this is, but Trump wanted loyalty from him. And as the FBI director, he's not supposed to be talking to the president in a personal way, because that puts a conflict in interest when it comes political. FBI is supposed to be apolitical, not even voting, really, per se. So, that was him. I'm apolitical.
Well, that was the whole thing. That was why people were very upset with Comey in the 2016 election, because he came out saying something about Hillary, not necessarily like dragging her or this or that, but it was about her emails. And he said something, and people were upset because they were like, "Oh, the FBI director shouldn't be saying this," but he is the FBI director. And he was talking about facts, like,
yeah, he was like, "Remember, this is not about emails and stuff. This is about Russia. Like, there's Russia over here with Trump, and there's emails over here. This is a conspiracy with Trump. These are facts over here with Hillary."
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter who's running for president. Like, I'm protecting the Bureau. Like, he goes, "So what am I going to do? Here, I've got a bad decision, a worse decision, and a catastrophic decision. I think I'm going to go with bad."
Yeah.
Like, that was
fair enough. I will always say this. I don't necessarily, there are people I think that are evil in this world, but when it comes to people like Comey, I think the guy just got put into a really bad situation, and no matter what he did, he was probably going to lose in some way, whether he loses the faith of the American people as the FBI director because he chooses one thing or the other, or he loses his fucking job because he does the wrong thing. Like,
and the whole Russia part of it, they said it wasn't necessarily that Trump was tied into Russia and all that stuff, but what they came to, and I guess I've never really looked into this or heard this said, but they were like, Russia won not because Trump won or Hillary won or whatever. It's because they divided democracy. They divided the two parties to where they no longer can work together. Mm-hmm. Now Russia won because America just got weaker no matter what.
So that actually leads into something interesting. I'll tell it in a second. Go ahead. Continue.
No, keep on. Maz pretty much does it.
Well, here's the thing. It's so funny that I can point back at this so that everyone can find it. Look up the Call of Duty Cold War first original trailer. What's interesting about it is it's not that it's a Call of Duty trailer. I could care less. But there is a video that they used in that trailer that is very important. I forget the guy's name. He is a ex-KGB agent, if I remember correctly. And he was talking with some Western... He was somewhere where he was talking to somebody from the West.
Yeah.
In the West, I should say. Because he's ex-KGB, he probably wouldn't be allowed back in Russia.
Right.
But this was back during the Soviet era. And he's talking and he's explaining, if I were the Soviet Union and I wanted to destabilize the West, destabilize America, I would do this, 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 and this, and this. And a lot of people have been reacting to that video here recently because a lot of that stuff has happened over the past 50 years since the end of the Cold War. And it's a very good video to listen to, just to hear a little piece of Cold War history.
Sure.
But it's terrifying when you start drawing conclusions.
No.
And let's be honest here. The end of the Cold War was declared because the Soviet Union got, dispersed. But the people that worked under the Soviet Union are still alive.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Vladimir Putin, whatever you think about the guy, was KGB. Like, you can't just get rid of that.
Sure.
Especially how strong the Russian nationalism is. And so if there are spies in the Americas, if there's espionage happening, if the West is truly if the East is truly trying to take down the West, it's probably still happening. And there are shadowy games, not like, evil things happening, but
right.
Russia's probably doing stuff enough, just a little bit. They're not doing anything direct, because then that would cause a war.
Right.
They're not doing anything direct. They're just let's let us call up this Trump guy. Let's see if he'll talk to us. If he talks to us, then we tell the media that he talked to us, and then it's a whole conspiracy.
Yeah.
That was actually a really good Russian accent.
That's not bad.
I'm happy with myself.
Not bad.
But that's the thing. Like, it's very fascinating, and that's why I love White House stuff.
Yeah.
Is because of the political espionage and intrigue, especially House of Cards.
Now, West Wing's older, right?
West Wing is old as crap.
Like 90s to early 2000s?
Yes. The one of the best episodes of West Wing that I ever saw was the one that it wasn't directly 9/11, but either it was directly 9/11 or if obviously they twisted it just so they could do something similar.
It's like House of Cards with the Russian guy.
Exactly. They didn't want to, open the wound or something like that.
Yeah.
But they had an episode about 9/11, and it's a very, very good episode.
That's cool. Well, it's not cool, but it's respectful.
It's respectful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So let's switch gears.
Oh boy.
So I was in Miami.
I'm gonna go take a nap.
All right. I was in Miami. I was at the 10X Business Boot Camp, so you can check the video that I posted yesterday on that, I believe. It's just me driving in the car, which we've got a theme for. We're either going to go, and I don't know how many people are actually going to watch this and listen, but if you want to interact and comment. So we're going to start putting out some different content. We're going to do either a ride with Gunner or a drive with Gunner. I don't know which one sounds better. I think drive, right? Drive with Gunner. I think that probably the one that sounds the best. So we'll knock that down. And that'll just be some things that kind of pop into my head while I'm driving. I know you're not supposed to really do that, but it is what it is. But quick little, try to keep them like 5 to 10 minute videos, hit that algorithm up. But I was in Miami for the 10X Business Boot Camp, Grant Cardone's boot camp. Listen, if you have a pulse and you've clicked on an Instagram page or a Facebook page, most likely you've ran across the name Grant Cardone because the man is a marketing master. He's 62 years old now, and he didn't even really catch a stride until about 11 years ago. It's about 2010 is when he got moving. So that gives all you boys some hope that haven't hit 50 years old yet, that you can really just 10x your life at that point. So I went to the boot camp. It was really good. Learned a bunch of marketing, a bunch of sales, a bunch of business scaling, a bunch of finance, a bunch of personal development. I got to surround myself with some really high level, motivated, positive, inspired individuals, which is always good to do. It's good cleansing for the soul. And it didn't hurt that it was in one of the beautiful cities of the United States of America, which is what you would call Miami. So that was cool. I didn't get to do much in Miami because it was a work trip. This boot camp lasted from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. for 3 days. That was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And Friday night, I had a podcast lined up with Dwayne Jackson, which was the Stratton Oakmont broker that we had a chat with on Chat with Gunner, the previous episode. So go check that out if you haven't. Really cool. We're going to try to grab some clips from that too, when he's actually talking about the madhouse that was the real story of Stratton Oakmont. But that Saturday night when we finished at about 3-4 p.m. I was able to drive about 45 minutes from the northern part of Miami I was in to South Beach. Got down to Oceanfront Road or Avenue or whatever it was called. And I did the whole touristy thing. I went and parked, paid $40 to park, which is absolutely mind-blowing down there. But I had a first level parking spot. I walked straight onto Oceanfront Avenue or whatever it is. The little Muscle Beach there, people walking up and down the street, people eating right there on the sidewalk. Every single spot was jam-packed. The sidewalk was jam-packed. The beach was jam-packed, and it's all right there together, and everyone's in a good mood, positive, and the weather was 69 degrees and sunny and perfect. Well, that Saturday just happened to be the first UFC pay-per-view of the year, Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane, with the undercard being Brandon Moreno and Davis Figueiredo. And man, absolutely awesome card. So I got there around 6 p.m. I went and had dinner by myself, just went to a bar, sat down at the bar, ended up meeting a couple guys from the Hyatt Hotel, that they work for the Hyatt Hotel. and they were sitting there watching the game. So we watched the Packers game, and then we watched the end of the Titans game, and then they got up and left, and I went over to the next bar and started watching the UFC fights. It's like a $10 cover. Went in there and ended up hanging out with some. It was a crazy group. It was a mixture of Middle Easterns, and I don't know. I know you're listening to this podcast and you're going, what? It was a mixture of Middle Eastern guys and Russian guys. That was who I was hanging out with watching the fights, because everybody else was watching the end of the Packers game. And then I ended up going over to the bar, saw this guy who was in pretty good shape, and I went up to him and I was like, "Hey man, I'm gonna slide in here and grab me a drink, but I just want to be respectful." And he appreciated that, because you know how people are at bars, and I'm not really in the bar scene anymore, so I'm just trying to be super professional and mature. I know, right? So I pat him on the back. He's in good shape, right? So I was like, "Hey man, so did you ever play ball?" And he's an older guy. I probably pictured him. He was probably touching 50 is what I imagined. Black guy in great shape. Black don't crack. And I was like, "Hey man, so did you play ball?" And he goes, "Yeah, I played 10 years." And I was like, 10 years? I mean, so he's in the league? He's like, "Yep, I was in the league." I was like, "Who'd you play for?" He's like, "The Bengals." I said, "What's your name?" He said, "Leonard Wheeler was my name." So played at Troy, defensive back, went to the Bengals, played for years, showed me some pictures, played for the Bengals. He was telling me really cool stories about when he played Randy Moss. So that was the most impossible person to guard ever. So that was a really cool thing to do. And then he also now works for the NFL. So I linked up with him on LinkedIn, no pun intended there. And now we're keeping in touch. So just did some networking, met some really cool people. I was out till about 1 a.m. Drove home, probably shouldn't have, but I was all right. Drove home to the hotel, which is about 35 minutes away. And the traffic at 1 a.m. in Miami is a little bit surprising. I'll tell you that much. I got to the hotel, man, had about 3 hours sleep, hit a red eye, made it back to Nashville and crashed. But that was pretty much my weekend. Got back to work and had a bunch of ideas now after coming into doing that boot camp. And I was trying to explain it to the guys. I said, "How was it? Was it worth it?" And everything. And, obviously I met a couple people down there that, gave me some opportunities in freight. So obviously it's worth it. Just going down there and having a couple conversations with people that I never would have met, that work for companies I never even heard of, that are really not that far from Chattanooga, that I might be able to get freight from. That's a win. But the other win for the most part was coming back. I'm trying to explain it to these guys, because not everyone likes personal development and business boot camps and learning all the time and listening to podcasts and listening to training. Not everyone likes that. And I understand that. I do get that. I'm a little weird in that regard. I'm not a book reader. I'm more audio visual, but it is what it is. But I come back and I said, I've had two moments in my life, and they're very distinct now, and they're very parallel. Two moments in my life that the light bulb went off. And this might be a good thing to clip too, so we can kind of mark this. Where are we at? What's our timestamp on this right here, Ethan?
33 minutes.
33 minutes. Let's remember 33 minutes right here. So two moments in my life that something happened that made me just stop in my tracks and think. So I'm going to tell you about the first one. The first moment was my freshman year in college. Reporting to fall football camp. I played high school football at Eastridge High School, 3A school, public school, Chattanooga, Tennessee. We didn't really have a very complex defensive scheme. Defensive scheme was gunner line up, go tackle them. That was my scheme, at least. So get to college, we're going to our linebacker meeting, and we're breaking down film and breaking down schemes and stuff. And I see these guys that have been there for several years, and they're saying things, terminology, that I think I should know because I think I know football. And I don't. I don't know what they're talking about. I think I should be able to understand what the Coach Adam Fuller, who is now the defensive coordinator for Florida State, is writing up on the board, but I don't. I can't even read it. I don't even understand what he's talking about. And then he asked me a question, and I don't have an answer, right? I don't know I don't know what it is that I'm supposed to say. And this went on for a couple years till I got caught up to speed and I really felt comfortable in what I was doing. I'd say really honestly, to be completely honest, probably 3 years. To where I was like, oh, I kind of get this a little bit. So that was a moment where I was just taken back because I was humbled. I didn't know what I was doing and I couldn't fake it anymore because I was there. I made it. My skills got me there, but now intellectually and just like my football IQ was not there. Another time was when I graduated college. I guess there was 3 times. When I graduated college and I was looking for a job. All I'd ever done is play football. I thought I played football. People know me. I'm going to get a job and we'll start making good money. And then I started putting out my resume and I don't even have anything to put on my resume. And I started going to job interviews and I don't know how to do a job interview. I don't know how to sell myself. All I know how to do is talk about what I did for the community and what I did for football. And I kept getting denied and denied and denied and denied. And eventually I got a shot at Lipsy Logistics. But I didn't even know what logistics was. So when I came to logistics and started for the first time and I'm doing track and trace and I'm training, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know the terminology. I don't know what it is that we actually do, I don't know anything. I'm just tracking and tracing, calling drivers, trying to get a conversation going. So I remember feeling, very humbled and dumb there because I couldn't fake it. It wasn't just work out, football, be cool, hang out at the bar, whatever. I just couldn't grasp it. I couldn't fake it. My logistics IQ was dumb, right? And I always say it took me about probably 3 or 4 years to really feel comfortable with what I was doing. And then it hit me again this past week. So I'm sitting in this room at the JW Marriott Hotel in this conference room, and there's 1,200 people there. There's people there that paid $25,000 for tickets, and I'm sure there's people there that were gifted tickets. But the cheapest ticket I think that you could actually buy was $997. And I'm sitting in the first row. It's in the first row, in the executive first row, so like about 10 rows from the actual stage, but the first row of non-VIP. And I'm listening to these guys get up on the stage and present and talk. And, Grant Cardone, he's a billionaire, getting up there talking, 62 years old, full of life and energy. Brandon Dawson, a guy that I didn't really know of prior to this. I'd seen him in some of the Cardone space, but didn't really know him. I think he's 52 years old, worth probably hundreds of millions of dollars, created businesses, built businesses, regenerated businesses, saved businesses, helped people with businesses. Jared Glant, who's the president of Cardone Enterprise, a guy that, you could just tell is top-notch sales guy, top-notch, professional. Steve Spray talking about follow-up, very top-notch. You can tell he's just been doing it, and he's successful, millionaire. Everybody that's up on the stage, millionaires. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm listening to these guys talk, and the way they present, and the way they stand, and the way their posture is, and the way, they interact with people, and their confidence. And I'm thinking, I'm listening to this material, and this is the boot camp material that they gave us, right? This is, this, you can look at this. This is what we went through in 3 days. It wasn't just play, it was work. And the material that's in here, man. I remember getting a playbook when I was in college, about this thick, and I was like, I will never learn any of that. Well, it starts with 1 page and applying action. And I eventually learned it all. That's the same way I felt with this. How am I going to learn all this? Yeah, I got the sales down, kind of. I'm starting to get there. But there's the finance, and there's the goal setting, and there's the reverse formula, and there's the business cycle, and there's the scaling, and there's the marketing piece. That blew my mind. So, I'm sitting there, And I see these guys that bought these $25,000 tickets in the front row, and I'm looking at the way they dress, looking at the way they carry them. It's very similar to the way the guys on stage carry themselves. And I'm like, wait a minute. I see it here. There's a way to act. There's a way to carry yourself. There's a way to communicate. There's a way to stand. There's a posture. There's a confidence. But you can't have any of that unless you got the IQ, the business IQ, unless you've done it before. You can fake it until you can't. That's what I've learned. You can say you're strong until you can lift a lot of weight. And then you go to pick it up and you can't. No, you're not strong. You just can say you are, but your lifting IQ is not good. You can be a good football player until you don't know football. How do you get into position if you don't know what the position is? You got to do it. You got repetition, and then you got to do it in the game. And you got to do it at a high level to be awarded. Same thing in business. You want to be good at something? You got to suck at it because you've never done it. And then you got to do it. Then you got to do it at a high level and get recognized for it. So that was my takeaway from the whole thing. I was trying to explain that to the guys. Like, I haven't felt this way since college when I realized I didn't know what I was doing in football. And now I felt the same way. Like I'm to a certain point where I'm like, I think I'm doing okay. I go to this place and I'm a nobody. Right? And it really humbled me. And I loved it. I loved that. Because you know what? Because you know why? Because one of these days, I'm gonna take that next step. I'm gonna do something else in life. And I'm gonna say, Ethan, you know what? I remember that time that I compared college football and not knowing anything and being dumb to being, an executive at a business and not knowing what I'm doing to be able to grow it and being dumb to then the next thing. I'm going to come out of this and it's going to be better. And the next time I go to that boot camp, I don't know if I'm going to be in the front row for $25,000, but I'm going to be closer than the row I was in, and I'm going to know what I'm doing. Because the more times you do these things, the better you're going to get. So that was my trip in Miami. Again, I broke it down a little bit better in the video that we posted up prior to this. We've got a lot of things that are happening here. So, and I know I like to speak things into existence. I know that I've said for, 2 years that we've got a website coming. And it was always, it's coming. Well, let me tell you something. It's paid for now. So the website's paid for. I've got a freelancer working on the website currently as we speak. Should be done in 3 days. Is it going to be perfect? Is it going to be the way I want it at the very end? No, it's not, but it's going to be up. GunnerMiller.com is bought. It is my domain. We've got it for the next 10 years. And somebody's working on the web page right now. I believe it's going to be between 5 to 8 pages. There will be a newsletter. There will be a Q&A spot. There will be a business portion, which is the logistics aspect of it. There will be a professional wrestling aspect of it because I'm going to continue doing that. As much as I've kind of talked about not, I'm going to continue doing that because I can. And I'm healthy enough to do it. And I should be able to do it. And Marcus likes to watch me do it. And it's only one Friday out of my month, and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to post up that stuff over there too because that helps my brand. There's going to be a podcast section of it, which is going to have my stuff and Ethan's stuff because we're going to get him doing some content too. And then that'd be like a family aspect of it. Like I want to control my space. I don't necessarily need Facebook. I don't necessarily need YouTube. Don't necessarily need the stuff's going to go to those sites, but I want to have my own portal as well that I own that is mine and ours, right? So where you can get everything, where I don't have to say, hey, go to Apple Podcasts, and hey, go to Spotify, and hey, go to Facebook, and hey, go to GunnerMiller.com and click on what you want to click on. It'll get you there, I promise you. So that's happening. That should be done. But by the time we have the next podcast up, and we'll be continually tweaking that. And then I guess that's about it. So we're going to run, but that's about it. So I don't need much for you. I need you to go to Apple iTunes. We're going to get back on this kick, and I'm going to do it a little bit better too once we get more of this content out, and once we get the web page up. It's going to be an easy, accessible, like just press a button and do it. But Apple iTunes, I want as many reviews as we possibly can get, 5-star reviews, because we deserve it. That's what I need. I need you to go to Apple iTunes. I need you to click on Chat with Gunner, I need you to review the show. If you watch it on Spotify, thank you. If you watch it through Buzzsprout, pick one, Spotify or Apple iTunes. I really don't understand. If you're watching the video on YouTube, which I know some are up, some are down. Right now, we're in a low market. We're in a down market right now, and it's due to the content and the frequency, and that is my fault. But if you're on YouTube and you haven't already, please subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit that bell notification so that you can know that when we actually post up things, we're posting more things here, and leave a comment. And I promise you, we will reply. Any question that you ask in that comment, we will reply. Any positive or negative thing that is said in that comment will get a reply. Facebook is probably the other spot. We've got to get the Chat with Gunner Facebook page. It's there. We just got to get content on it. Might need to backlog that. Don't know how that needs to look. And then also LinkedIn, which is pretty much my social media of choice, and it is strictly business. If you are friends with me on LinkedIn, that is a business space. Yes, it's branding for my business profile. Everything about that is logistics, and everything about that is professional. So, what we lose? Oh, just gotcha. So that's that. So what is that? Episode 94?
I believe so. Yeah.
All right. So episode 94. We'll try to get some more guests on. Like I was telling Ethan, I've signed up for a subscription with StreamYard. That way I can get more interviews in. We're gonna still come to the studio. Don't get me wrong. The studio this is the foundation of what got us here, and we're going to do this. But one thing that I don't have time for is setting up interviews for people to get to this mall. Okay. It takes too much energy from me. It's a lot easier for myself and everybody else, and Ethan doesn't even have to be involved because it's easy for me to set up an interview and to drop an interview. So I got to put it on my shoulders to drop more interviews for the week. I'd like to get to where I'm doing several. And that way I'm collaborating and networking with other people's podcast as well. So if I reach out to you here soon, it's probably to do a quick collaboration through an interview and just do a check-in, all right? So we're going to get some more interviews out. We're going to get some driving with Gunner out. We're going to get some, another one I wanted to do is a work with Gunner, which we might just stream live to LinkedIn because we're getting our new office space built out, and my office is actually sweet. The lights are in now. Dude, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be, I keep telling Ethan, it's like everything that I've ever wanted as far as like a workspace. It's going to be like a studio / conference room / office / chill room / perfect place to watch the fights. I promise you. It's going to be a really cool spot. And it's pretty much custom made to exactly how I wanted it made. And all the electricity, or the outlets are exactly where I need them. And we've already built into the foundation of the wall is a spot to already hang the TV exactly where I need it, so that there's no problem. It's perfect, man. It's really cool. They've done a great job on it, and we're hoping to be in there by the end of February. So that's it. I really appreciate you guys. This was Chat with Gunner 94. We will see you next week from the studio, but be looking for more content before then. Remember, if you got any questions, any comments, any concerns, leave them in the comments. Also, chatwithgunner@gmail.com. Again, that is chatwithgunner, CHATT with Gunner @gmail.com for anything else as well. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Bye.